Hi, we'll see today the remaining items I have in my stock. These will be the last items, except if I found something very interesting and unusual. We'll start with the indicators. The first one is this one. This is the VOR and ILS indicator and converter from Radar. This one is another VOR ILS indicator. Nav 11 from Merco Avionics. This one is an horizon reference indicator. Vintage stuff. This one is an airspeed indicator. This one is very nice with the reggae colors. This is an oil pressure and temperature indicator from Smith. This one is very old. This is a decometer Mark 8. This thing is more modern. This is a true airspeed and a total air temperature indicator from Honeywell. This one is interesting. It is a radio magnetic indicator from Collins. This one is very long. This one is also a total air temperature and EPR indicator. This thing is a vintage VHF. Can be interesting to make it work. This is a totalizer for fuel. It's a digital instrument, as you can see. This one is interesting and modern. This thing is a true airspeed and Mach indicator, analog and digital display. This thing is also a reference horizon indicator. This thing is not an indicator, but a CFD, so this permits to detect a fire on the aircraft. So I have also the cable. This is a specific cable which permits the detection of a given temperature. It can be interesting to see how it works. This thing is an aeronautical miles indicator. So this was already described in the channel of Sylvain, but I will do a complete reverse engineering and I will try to make it work. This is the fuel flow indicator. This was manufactured in France by Ford Herman. This indicator is a DME miles indicator. This thing is a fuel quantity indicator. I will try to do also the reverse engineering and make it work. It is just a question of time. This is an altimeter. This is an RA and TA VSI indicator from Thales. This thing is another VOR ILS indicator. The reference is VOA9, and I have also the connector for that. So now let's see the medium instruments, and after we finish by the big ones, and some are very interesting. This thing is a French instrument. It is return power supply. Actually, it's a 3-axis gyroscope, as we can see. So it can be interesting to make it work. The second one is small. This is a linear accelerometer. But as we can see, this thing is totally sealed. I don't know if it is possible to open it. This thing is an amplifier for an HDI indicator. This thing is a Soviet airspeed indicator. It is similar to the Mach meter I have described in one of my previous videos. I hope that the magnetic amplifier used for the servo control on the bottom here works. In this case I would like to make it work. It was not possible with the previous one, so I think it's a similar construction. Next one is an air data computer. It was mounted in a helicopter. This thing is interesting. It is a digital to synchro converter. I think it is soldered. And this thing is quite heavy, around 1 kilo or something like that. The next stuff is interesting. There is this electronic board and this indicator. So we try to make it work, at least the indicator. This thing is called a storm scope. We will see now the large instruments. So now let's see the large items. The first one here is an air data computer, as you can see, from Honeywell. The next one is another air data computer from Sperry, I think. Yes. And this one is small. This is a signal summing unit. I don't have any idea about the use of this instrument in the aircraft. But this was very cheap from a UK seller. Maybe 3 or 4 euros or something like that. This thing is interesting. This is a gyroscope from Sperry. This is called gyro amplifier master unit. Then we have this big stuff. This is called the Spills computer. This is a VHF from Collins. This thing is quite heavy. This is a distance measurement equipment from Collins also. So now let's see the remaining items. These are the very big stuff. This thing is a PSU, a passenger service unit, with the lights, etc. It can be interesting to see the construction of this thing. This is the next one. a flight recorder. I got this thing for a good price, 30 euros if I remember, from a UK seller. The next thing is very interesting. It is inside this original transportation box. This is a MAD, a magnetic anomaly detector. This thing is not too old. This is a ASQ 504. This one uses optical pumping magnetometers, which works with cesium 133. So it should be interesting to make it work. So this permits the detection from an aircraft of submarines, for example. So this can work at 1,300 meters from the sea. So this permits the detection of very small variation of the magnetic field. I think it should be possible to make it work. So there are some electronic boards on the rear. I think they are not too complicated. This is the last item, but not least. This is a very heavy item, about 30 kilos. I bought this thing from a UK seller. The price was quite expensive because of the weight and also because of the caissons. As you can see, this thing is a rangefinder. So on the rear there are a lot of connectors. As you can see, there are 4 connectors. And we can see also a cooling system through these tubes here. And there is a pump and a heat exchanger on this area here. The input of fresh air should be this one, which permits to cool the heat exchanger, which is inside. So as you can see that there is a class 4 laser inside. It is written here in this sticker. So there is no upper limit for class 4, but the minimum power is 500 milliwatts. So I think that the power of the laser is a few watts. So I think that the cooling is used for the infrared sensor, but I'm not sure. So of course I will try to do a little reverse engineering on this thing, and maybe it can be possible to activate the laser with all precautions, of course. I have also 5 or 10 more items, otherwise all these items will be the last ones. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.